What am I here for? What am I doing? I'm going to this job every day that I hate, or I'm just in this marriage that's not what it's meant to be, and I feel stuck. Anybody feeling stuck?
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers.
2.5 years ago, I'm walking through my spiritual experience and I'm witnessing my life, and I'm seeing how I'm feeling quite disconnected physically. I was a great student of A Course in Miracles. I was very, very dedicated to metaphysics. I've been doing all my forgiveness practices. I've been reprogramming my thinking, but I was feeling disconnected. And I started to say, I need a miracle. I need help. Show me what you got. And then one day, out of nowhere, I was invited to a yoga class, a private yoga class in New York City. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really like yoga. But it was a yoga class and a dinner. So I don't like yoga, but I like dinner. So I was like, okay, I'll go. And I wanted to hang out with the people that were going, so I showed up. And I walked into this tiny little yoga studio in New York City. And I saw this beautiful 70-year-old woman with a turban and a gown and beautiful mala beads strung, sitting on this tiny little stage, smiling the biggest smile you have ever seen. So much joy was just beaming from this woman. And the moment I walked in the door, I felt elevated in her presence. I felt elevated in her existence. I felt like the room was starting to expand. This tiny little yoga studio became as big as this tent. It was so magnificent. It was so big. It was so loud. And she wasn't saying anything. Her presence was her power. And so I sat myself down on that yoga mat and I started waving my hands in the air and barking and breathing really fast and then hysterically crying, buckets of tears moving through me. And in the middle of the class, I screamed, "I have found my yoga!" And she looked at me and she goes, "Mm-hmm." And you know what I'm talking about because you know the magnitude of being fully present. And that prayer that I had asked, when I said, I need to know more, God, show me what you've got, I need more, was answered by that invitation to go to that yoga studio that day. Because not only did I get on that mat that day, but I went the next day, I went the next day, I went the next day. 28 days later, I signed up for a teacher training. 270 hours later, I am a teacher. And all of that physical presence that I was longing for in my practice, and that busting through of those blocks and that greater connection to spirit has been gifted to me because I asked. I witnessed the detour that I had taken. I asked for help. I was guided to what I needed. Witness the fear. Ask for help. Be guided back. The next step is to witness the miracles that are in front of you. Because I could have asked and listened and gone to that yoga studio, but not been present enough to witness the light. I could have been walking in on my phone, Instagramming the Buddhas downstairs, talking on the phone as I come in the room, just, sizing everybody up, looking at their outfits, thinking about the jewelry they were wearing, figuring out what was for dinner. No, I was witnessing the miracles that were being bestowed upon me, witnessing. And so in the presence of that witnessing, we are gifted the reconnection to the light. And as we become that witness and we become that opportunity of just allowing. So you're the non-judgmental witness. You're asking for the guidance, and then you accept what is gifted to you. You accept it. I challenge you when you're in that separation to choose again, and to open your eyes and start to witness what is around you, to witness the light that is around you. Witness the light of your sisters and brothers who are laughing as they drink their juices and walk through this incredible mountain. Just simply look up and witness the magnitude of the mountains we are surrounded by. So when you're in those moments of separation and attack and judgment, I really challenge you, I really invite you to just open up, to choose again, to ask. you'll be restored, you will be rejuvenated, and all that separation will be dissolved by the light. So you're living in the light now, right? You're witnessing, you're asking, you're being present in the miracle of the light. And life gets really groovy. And then you forget what it is. You forget what you're here to do. You forget where you're here to go. And you have these moments of forgetting. And you start to think, what is my purpose? What am I here for? What am I doing? I'm going to this job every day that I hate. Or I'm just in this marriage that's not what it's meant to be. And I feel stuck. Anybody feeling stuck? Anybody feeling blocked? I have one last story of how to get back into the light. I have a very, very dear friend who has been a banker for a decade. And he's been stuck in this job where he feels so lost and so blocked and so disconnected from the job that he is here to do. And in that stuckness, in that blockness, he came to me asking for help. He said, I need help. And I said, okay, well, you've been on this journey for a while. You've been doing this work, and I'm going to start to just give you some tools. And so he started to bring those tools in, but then he got lost. And he got to a really, really dark place, a real dark place of just being pissed about his life. I'm sitting with my friend about a week and a half later, and he's just sitting there, and I look at him and I say, I have a message for you. And I don't know where this was coming from. I was just allowing. There was voices coming in, and I was just allowing. And it was a just undeniable connection. I just said, just sit down. I know you're ready for this. I've got a message for you. Your job is not to be the best banker. Your job is not to be the best at the spreadsheets. Your job is not to make the most money on Wall Street. Your job is not to have the best suit in the room. Your job is not to bring in the most clients. Your job is to be the light. Your job is to be the light in a really dark environment. Your job is to leave your positive attitude in an energy where it is so toxic and greedy and negative, in an environment where the boss is leading with an iron fist. Your job is to leave your light. Your job is to give a better perspective to your coworkers. Your job is to raise the vibration by just living in the joy of who you are, man. Your job is to be the light. And for whatever reason, that day, he was willing to receive the gospel of Gabby. And he just stood there and he was like, okay, I will be the light. And so he went to work and he put on his little outfit, his little Prada suit, little tie. And he walked into his office and he stood really tall. And he looked around and he said, I am the light. He didn't say that out loud, but he said it. I am the light. And I called him about 2 weeks later and I said, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. Just be in the light. That is the brilliance, people. That is the simplicity. When we dwell in the light and the joy of who we are here to be, all boundaries are removed. All of our intentions and desire to live in our purpose comes forward. All of that truth comes forward when we start to live in the joy and the presence of our light. When we start to release the boundaries with that light, that is when it is restored. And so you have this opportunity, and this is my call to action for you. This is my invitation to you. I invite you to get over yourselves. I invite you to release the judgment and the attack and the separation, one negative thought at a time, one attack thought at a time, one moment at a time. I invite you to let go of your disconnect from your purpose and remember that when you are only in that presence of my purpose is to be in joy. My purpose is to be the light. And in my presence, the room is vibrating. In my presence, the room is magnetic. In my presence, the room begins to expand. That is your job. And I invite you to join me on this experience of being in this beautiful, magnificent world at this time, being the witness of all of the miracles that are available to us, taking ownership of the gift that you were given as a Western citizen, as a person who is living here with the privileges of being able to be in a tent like this. Own that right now. Be with me right now in that presence of how freaking lucky you are, how blessed you are, and do not take it for granted. Take responsibility. Take responsibility for the gifts that you have been given, for the privileges that you have, and the opportunity that you have, and you know who you are. You know that if you made it to this mat, you are the one that will wake up. And as a teacher of the light, it is my duty and my mission to remind you of that. That you are here on a journey of unlearning and remembering. You are here and you have access to the light at all times. It is through your journey of unlearning and remembering that you remember and accept the presence of the light that you are. And in the presence of that light, you become joyful. And in your joy, you heal the world. In that joy, you heal the world.
If you like this video and you want more meditations, click here for more.